When you guys were here last to make the farming DVD, it was in July. We were still believed that we were in drought. We'd had very little rainfall. It was usually record low rainfalls right up until July. And I said at the time that I'd put the vermicast and the worm tea out and was hoping that when the rain comes that the paddocks would explode. Well, this is a paddock here that has not had any fertiliser other than horse manure spread on it for 9 years. We did get the rains in late July or in August, and good follow-up rains in September. I had started to put the vermicast out on this paddock, but I didn't have a proper manure spreader, so I was just done with the bucket on the end of the front end loader, and you can see areas here where it's had the vermicast. I did get myself a manure spreader and I put one row straight down there, and you can virtually see the width of the spread. I'm not sure how it'll show up on the camera, but the areas in between are where it's had worm tea but not the actual vermicast. I've done the bricks reading on this paddock yesterday. The lower areas which hadn't had the vermicast are reading at 9. This thicker area here is reading at 13, and this is I'm still in my first of my 3-year process, so I'm really rapt that the paddock's coming on like this. We are having a good season, but if we look around at neighbouring paddocks, as you see over on the hill, they're just starting to get growth, and this paddock here this stuff here is already up knee height. We'll just take a little walk down here and I'll dig a sample of the soil. This paddock also had a lot of capeweed and sorrel. There's still patches of sorrel, but what you're seeing here in the more densely grassed area, that they've totally swamped out the weeds, and it's just good feed. And as I say, this area through here is already on a bricks reading of 13, and if we can get the whole farm looking like that, we'll be wrapped. We'll go and take a soil sample. We'll do a Martin Stapper. All right, the biggest problem here is getting through the grass to actually get the shovel into the soil. And what you'll see is that the soil, see the worms are on there. I did a count of a shovelful this morning and I got 15. My record's 19 in one shovelful, but you can see the friability of the soil. And they're just, how's that for, that's not a bad sized worm to be coming out of here.
I bet it smells good too.
Worms everywhere.
What's the root depth like too, David? Have you noticed a difference?
Yeah, we're still only at this stage only down about 4 or 5 inches. As I say, given that this only started with the vermicast this autumn.
There's plenty of worms.
So to me, that's a farmer's delight to be able to pick up a shovelful and just see those guys, and you can just see there's another worm there, but the density of the root mat that's in that ground, and feed that high, and we're like, we're mid-October, we've still got plenty of growing season to go yet.
Yep, nice and dark.
So you can imagine how that's going to hold the moisture when the rain, we get rain. That's just like a sponge.
Beautiful.
So I'm very pleased with that. What I'm finding is that there's so much ryegrass, which I don't treat as a weed. I'm happy to have ryegrass because it's great horse feed. But in the other areas here, we'll see where it's not as thick, that we're getting really good clover, and this paddock has traditionally been very poor for clover. I put it out I probably put it out, it's hard to judge, but I'd imagine at about a tonne to the acre. So it went out quite thickly, but we can also see that where it hasn't had the vermicast and just had 2 doses of worm tea, that we're already getting a good result. I understand most farmers are not going to have the capacity to put the castings or compost out at a tonne to an acre, but you know, if you've got a sheep shed full of manure underneath, well, that could all be going out as castings, and at even a much lesser rate. But even just from making the tea, you're starting to get a sensational result already.